Yo, what's up guys, and welcome back to, Pokemon Showdown. I, of course, am PokeaimMD. Now, Salamence is actually being suspect tested in the UU tier. I will leave a link to the thread down below if you want to know the reasons why. I'm not going to give my opinion on it until after it either gets banned or doesn't get banned, so in about 2 weeks, I'll be leaving my opinion on it in, the video, probably with Tony, because Tony and I play UU a lot, but we're going to find a game right away, and, yeah, I'm 1-1 at the moment. Some Scald Burns. I'm using this hyper offensive. Yeah, Scald Burn sucks. But I'm using this hyper offensive Shuckle team, Sticky Web Shuckle team. My opponent does not have a defogger, so I'm definitely leaning off with Shuckle so I can get up my Stealth Rock as well as my hazards. He completely loses to Sylveon or even Blastoise in his own right. The Blade also matches up really well versus him if I can weaken him a bit. So he's off a Conk, which is fine because I can get up my Stealth Rock. There's no two moves he can go for that could 2 KO me outside of like maybe a banded Stone Edge, but I'm actually gonna throw off a Toxic just in case he decides to stay in. I know he has Guts, but if I can wear him down to the point if he was AV, then my Sylveon can pick him off. But goes out to Aggron, that's fine because I can just get on my Sticky Web right here. He can't OHKO me with the Heavy Slam even if he's offensive because I am defensive Shuckle. And I am just going to go for the Encore play. If he went up for rocks or anything like that, that would have been fine for me, but he's able to knock me out with the Heavy Slam. Of course, you can leave your thoughts down below on what you think. Why are you saying good luck, have fun at turn 5? Have fun. You get a kill, and that's when you say have fun to somebody. You decide if you have fun yet. Oh, it's okay. This guy's funny. Yeah, we're gonna go right for Aura Sphere because it hits, it basically hits the Gastrodon, which he could have went out to, but it's 100% AV Conkeldurr, which means that he can't really touch my Sylveon. He could go for Drain Punch. Poison Jab wouldn't be able to knock me out, but I'll be able to spam the Pixie Plate boosted Hyper Voice, and Aggron does not have recovery, neither does the Blade, so I'll be able to go for Hyper Voice. This is Pixie Plate boosted. I'm max special attack. I'm actually not sure if he knocks it out because it looks like he's max HP, max Spadef. Look how little that Aura Sphere did. It did 23% to Conk, but he's gonna go out into his Porygon, maybe to go for like a Toxic or to Thunder Wave me. I'm kind of iffy about this play right here because I want to go out into Crocodile to knock it off, but the thing is Crocodile literally sweeps him. Like, it has the Scarf Moxie, so I don't think I want to make that play just yet. Alright, so I'll just go right out to the Blade because the Blade is set up. I do take the Thunder Wave, which he ends up going for. But that doesn't matter too much because I can just go right for the Swords Dance. As long as Crocodile's alive and this Porygon is low, like, I'll get the Moxie boost by weakening his team. And that's not going to be too hard because Gastrodon is more than likely coming out. If he wants to stay in, that's fine. It forces his Gastrodon to take damage. Apparently he does have the Swords Dance though. So I have been counter-teamed. And we're going to go out into our Blastoise right here just to take that. If he wants to Aura Sphere me, that's complete. If he wants to Thunder Wave me, that's completely fine. I'd rather get off damage with the Aura Sphere and put him low enough to the point where I can threaten him. The reason I didn't go out into Crocodile is because I don't want him to have Ice Beam. But I'm going to put him low enough to the point where I can deal with him as he double Thunder Waves expecting me to switch. As I am able to knock him out the Scald. So Porygon is gone. Absolutely great. And Crocodile is still alive, and his team is completely grounded. So all I have to do is weaken Florges a bit, and weaken Gastrodon. I am Choice Banded, so that'll work for me. Conkeldurr ends up coming out. He knows I have a Sylveon. I'm actually just going to go for Scald, expecting him to predict my Sylveon right here. As we do, unfortunately, get paralyzed. However, I should be able to go right back on the Sylveon now, anticipating him to go for Drain Punch. It sucks that we got paralyzed right there because that would have done decent damage, though he is Guts most likely. He goes for the double knockoff as well, so good play on my opponent's part as well, weakening me. Why does he keep like being surprised by his plays? Well, I think it was a good play on my opponent's part. Not sure if he did it on purpose, but we can weaken the Aggron a lot with the Hyper Voice, which I love. I absolutely love. And I'm not going to stay in. I do have Blastoise, which I can go out into. I kind of expect him to predict that, but at the same time, he can't really do too much, even if he does. I could go out into my Life Orb Tornadus because it does knock him out at that range, but he decides to reveal the rest. Interesting. Huh. It's really interesting, actually. I'm gonna throw off an Aura Sphere because it hits this as well as the Conkeldurr, which seems to be his immediate switch-in, but it mainly hits Gastrodon. That's why I went for that. This Conkeldurr seems to be his immediate switch-in. I'm gonna go with the Blade and then pivot out into... No. He might knock off here because he keeps doing that. He does go for Drain, but I'm actually gonna pivot out into my Sylveon on his knockoff because I can just spam Hyper Voice. as long as I weaken the blade a bit, I'm good. Getting rid of Conqueror would be great as well. If he does go Aggron, we get to hit it with the Hyper Voice, which is really nice. He even stays in, so goodbye. Maybe he expected me to double because I made the same plays back to back. I'm not entirely sure. But being able to knock out Conqueror is nice because that was a Pokemon that always forced my switch no matter what. I'm expecting him to go maybe out into, not the Aggron, but should I stay in? I'm debating staying in because he's probably Rest Talk. This is something that can immediately threaten Gastrodon, but yeah, I'm going to stay in just to weaken him because he is Filter, he'll be able to take an Earthquake, but if I can weaken him a bit with this, I'd be in a great position. And what I can do is go right out into my Tornadus and force him out maybe into Florges, which I wouldn't mind because I do have a Sludge Wave to weaken that a bit. And I'll go right for Heat Wave right here. This is Life Orb boosted based on the Hyper Voice damage. He was definitely not living this, so that's great. That Mon is gone. Expecting Florges to want to come out, but if I weaken Florges, then Crocodile sweeps him. So Florges does end up coming out, or does choose to come out, and I'll just Sludge Wave to weaken this a bit. It's not going to do too much. I'm actually expecting to double, anticipating my the blade to want to come out, so I kind of expect him to go out into maybe Gastrodon. Like, that does absolutely nothing, but he's going to go right for Moonblast. Gets the special drop. I'll go right out to the blade. Like, he's definitely going for the Synthesis here, or Wish. That works too. I'm surprised he hasn't gone Gastrodon once, like once at all. So I'll SD up. Now the reason I'm messing up is because he's more likely going to Protect, or if he switched out into Gastrodon, I was in a good position to hit it with an attack after that. I'm gonna SD up. Well, SDing up right there would have been great because I would have been able to hit Gastrodon, but I need to weaken Gastrodon anyway, that way I knock it out with Choice Banded Earthquake. Looks like he's leftovers as well. I don't know if he has Earth Power or not, but come on, I need the damage on this. He has Acid Armor or what? Interesting. I still need damage though, so I'm going for Shadow Sneak. It's going to do 15. Scald is his only attack to hit me. Does absolutely nothing. I'll Swords Dance up again if that's his only attack to hit me. Because I want to weaken him. I mean, Grass Knot is going to be my play after anyway, but if I can weaken him a bit and force him to switch out after he knocks me out with Scald, I should be in a decent position. Like, I'll be able to knock him out with +2 just based on the Shadow Sneak damage after he after the Acid Armor. He's definitely not like super physically defensive. So Tornado should be able to come out. If Grass Knot doesn't knock it out, which I kind of don't expect it to, simply because he's extremely especially built. It is 4 times super effective, but it was only 60 base power. I guess I was just sleeping on Tornadus right there. But we are able to knock him out with the Grass Knot. Absolutely great. Expecting Crocodile to want to come out. We're still going to win this game with Bandit Crook. And I think we could have won it earlier with Bandit Crook, but he goes out to his Crocodile. And I can just sack this thing. I can't let him predict my my Crocodile out here, as I can go right out to that. I don't have Intimidate, which is why also I couldn't let him predict that, but Sacred Sword should not be able to knock me out combined with the Shadow Sneak, and we will be getting the Moxie boost as well. And what this does is we have a +2 Earthquake versus Florges to knock it out. And he's also Wish Florges, so I don't think he has the... hopefully we knock it out. This is +1 or +2 because of the ban. So we also have Sticky Web up, so Blastoise may be able to outspeed, though it is paralyzed. Protect is pretty much his best play, but there's no way, if he does live this Earthquake somehow, there's no way he takes Scald after, so he has to hope I don't get fully paralyzed, as we are able to knock him out with the banded +1 Earthquake, and that is going to be good game. So, good game to our first opponent. I'm actually going to pause it, guys, until we find the next battle, and we will be right back. So we found another battle, and like I said, guys, this is for the Salamence UU suspect testing. Salamence is actually banned from this ladder. Our opponent does not like Sylveon at all. Like, at all. I expect him to lead off with his Mienshao. I kind of like Blastoise as a lead because it beats pretty much everything on his team with Scald or Rapid Spin. He leads off with the Fortress. I'll definitely 100% Scald this thing. It's probably Custap Berry Fortress just based on his more offensive team. But he goes right out to Cloyster. That's not a counter. This is max special attack Modest. Yeah, that's 100% not a counter. And I can just switch it up to an Aura Sphere if I honestly want to. And I think I will, just in case that Scald is a roll. I'm also 255 speed, so if he's Adamant Cloyster, I do outspeed him. And down goes one of the biggest threats I thought to my team. If he was like mixed with Hydro Pump, he would have been a huge problem. So Crocodile is going to come out. We're going to Scald that thing as well, which we are faster as well. I guess he's a really defensive set. Stealth Rock Crocodile? Alright, Mian Xiao is going to come out, and I can go right out to the blade. No reason not to, because he has to go for high jump kick. No reason not to. And I can just proceed to SD up. And if he goes up to fortress, which is pretty much his only like option for this, he loses. Yeah. So pretty fast game. Obviously, we are low on the ladder. But that was just a really weird game. So I am starting for the bottom, but hopefully we end up somewhere good. Now our opponent's only defogger is potentially Swellow, so I want to lead off with my my Shuckle. I actually want to go for Toxic first to put him on a timer if he starts to SD up. Yeah, I'll put him on a timer. He could be Spikes. He can't beat me 1v1. So we'll put him on that timer with Toxic, and then we'll proceed to Encore him just in case he tries to SD up again. He could go for Seed Bomb, though. I don't really have a good resist. I'm going to get on my rocks. Like, I don't care about this thing. This is a better play overall if he chose to attack me that turn. And I am Cuss Step, so I can afford to Encore right here, since if he does attack me, he'll bring me down to Sturdy. And if he Swords Dances up, yeah, or close to Sturdy actually, that did nothing. So I do want Sticky Web in this game, and I'm not quite at that range where I need it yet. I'm trying to think about what's useful and what's not in this game, and honestly, Tornadus does not look useful at all. Tornadus loses to Swellow, Jolteon's faster. The reason I didn't go directly into my Deblade, to explain that play just a bit, is because my Deblade walls the Swellow, and it could tank a hit from Jolteon and tank a hit from Goodra, so I'm not going to let it go down. I'd rather weaken something that's useless. And I'll actually go for Grass Knot, because it would knock out Cacturne anyway, and if he decided to go out to Swampert, I would obviously hit that thing pretty hard. So we're going to go out to Blastoise because Crocodile actually seems better. Crocodile seems better than Blastoise because Crocodile does not get OHKO by Jolteon. I knock it out with Choice Band and Knockoff. It also gets rid of Chandelure and threatens Goodra as well as Swellow. And if he goes Swellow, that's fine. I could switch out. So he does go Chandelure. He could be Scarf with Energy Ball, but that doesn't knock me out from full. And if he switches out to Swampert, that'd be fine. So it looks like he is Scarf with Energy Ball, but he is gone. And there goes his only resistance to my... You Scarf too? I'm banded, but I'm just gonna lie a bit. That looks like that's his only resistance to my what's it called? Oh, crap. That was his only resistance to my Fairy. So this is Mega Pert. I definitely want to weaken this with Knockoff. I can't switch directly into my Blastoise just in case he chose to go for attack that turn. So I think that was the better play all around. And I can go right to Blastoise here and knock him out with the Scald. Just based on the damage, this is 405 special attack. Yeah, we are weaker, a bit weaker to Goodra, but if Goodra comes out right now, which I kind of expected to, I can then go out to Shuckle. He chooses to stay in though, so I'll be able to. Oh, I barely missed out on the KO with Scald. Is he gonna go for Hammer Arm? What? He gets a crit though, so I guess the burn didn't matter too much. Why'd he go for Hammer Arm? That's interesting. It's weird. He could be Special Swallow too. Special Swallow could be an issue, but then if he is, then Sylveon deals with it anyway. So if he does go Goodra, as he goes Jolteon, is the play to go hard into Shuckle? I think Shuckle takes a hit, and Blastoise is still useful as pivoting for Swellow. If I don't get a Sticky Web, that's fine, but if I do take a hit, I do get a Sticky Web. So he goes for Volt Switch, which is great, because that does not knock me out. It puts me in Cuss That Berry range, and I can get up my Sticky Web, which will allow my Blastoise to... It depends on his Jolteon spread, actually. Do I outspeed it? Yeah, I'm 255. Well, if he's modest, Jolteon, I outspeed it, but I'll get a Sticky Web here. In case he is something like weird, like modest Jolteon, as I can now go out into my Sylveon and just click Pixie Plate Boosted Hyper Voice. It will be able to 2-KO Goodra even if he's Assault Vest. It also OHKO Swellow, and it gets rid of Jolteon if he goes out to that. So maybe Sticky Web wasn't useful right there. Maybe Toxic would have been better just to wear down Goodra. But at the same time, I'm not worried about this Mon. It looks like he is Assault Vest too. I crit him. As he goes for Sludge Wave, is not able to knock me out. Thankfully doesn't poison me either. I would have 2-KO'd him with the Hyper Voice anyway, so the crit did not matter. But it just goes to show you how bulky Goodra honestly is. Expecting Swellow to want to come out here just to attack me. We'll see if he's special or not. I'm going to sack my Blastoise because if he is, if he's physical, by me not going directly into the Blade and him going for U-turn, I mean, basically, if he attacks me right here, I get to go out to the Blade and click Sacred Sword. and he ends up critting me, unfortunately. But he is physical, which means that the blade does wall, and I can click Sacred Sword because Sacred Sword plus Shadow Sneak will be able to knock out Swallow, as well as it also 2 KOs Jolteon upon switching. And I kind of expect him to U-turn, or if he has Heat Wave, he would go for it here. But even if he burns me with Heat Wave, it won't be able to knock me out. Even if he burns me, his own burn is going to be putting him on a timer, and he can't 2 KO me. Unfortunately, because Swallow is Unfortunately, because Swallow is obviously a normal type, I can't hit that thing with a Secret Sword. But able to knock him out, as Jolteon is going to come out most likely, and I'll just go for 2 Shadow Sneaks, and that should be able to pick off Jolteon at 76%, if I'm not mistaken. Jolteon doesn't have the best defenses. 75%. Should be at 76, but Pokemon. But we'll go right for the Shadow Sneak, and like I said, that will be able to 2 KO his Jolteon. Specs actually has to crit. I'm not even sure if it's Specs. Goes for Shadow Ball, which is not able to knock me out. And I will be able to knock him out with the second Shadow Sneak. I got a crit, but again, it didn't matter. I 2 KO'd him, and he locked himself in the Shadow Ball, it seems. Or maybe he's, Bell. I don't even know if that's Specs. 65% doesn't seem that enough for Specs. But that's going to be game. And we're going to pause the video one more time until I find another battle, guys. We will be right back. Guys, so we got another game versus Hard Trick Room, it looks like. Maybe with Scarf Rotom. Dark Resist is Diancie, so he really doesn't appreciate Crocodile. I guess Mandibuzz as well. But he also doesn't appreciate Sylveon. So I want to get up rocks, but I'm not too worried about... I'm not too worried about anything. I mean, he could trick me right here, but look at my Stealth Rock. If he wants to trick, then he loses his Scarfer. Yeah, he does trick me. A Choice Specs. It looks like he's Choice Specs. And I don't necessarily want to switch out versus this thing, so I'm just going to go for Stealth Rock again. I'm not going to switch in something on a potential exactly Will-O-Wisp or anything like that. He has cussed that berry now. So I'm thinking about sacking this at the same time. Hyper Voice. Yeah, I can't switch into this thing. I could go out into Sylveon, spam, and attack, and then double into Crocodile after his Volt Switch. I wanted to double into Crocodile on the Bronzong play. Like if he Will-O-Wisp there. Doubling the Crook just to get it in, but at least we're able to get off 25% on the Rotom as Bronzong is going to come out, and I am going hard into my Crocodile. It looks like he might be Custap Berry. Not Custap, excuse me. Colbur Berry, but I'm pretty sure he's either offensive, as it looks like, or he's either offensive or he's the Macho Brace. So I'm actually going to go for Pursuit, expecting him to want to switch out because Mandibuzz is such an easy counter, and now with his Fairy Resist gone outside of Rotom, which my Sylveon appreciates having Trick Room up versus, we'll be able to deal with that. So Mandibuzz is going to come out. I can go right out to Shuckle if he chooses to defog. Getting rid of Bronzong is sick because that's one of his Trick Room users. As Mandibuzz is going to come out, and I can click Toxic. I don't expect him to go out into his Dragalge right here. And Toxic hits pretty much everything outside of the Diancie. So he goes for that Toxic. Excuse me, outside of the Dragalge, not Diancie. Expecting the U-turn right here, maybe. So I'll go out to Tornadus. Or even hard switch out into the Diancie. Keeping Sylveon healthy is key. Actually, Blastoise is the better play all around. Because Blastoise deals with Diancie as a switch-in, and it can also deal with Dragalge to an extent, so I can just Mega Evolve and fire off a Scald. The fact that Mandibuzz is Toxic means that it is on timer. He's going to go out into his Dragalge, but this does give us the chance to potentially burn him, as we do. It looks like he's not Specs either, so what I'm actually going to do is Ice Beam because I can 2 KO him. As he's going to drop a Draco, but that is not going to be enough to knock me out. And I think what we'll do is we'll actually go out to Shuckle, anticipating him to want to go out. No, you know what? I'll Scald Burn because I don't mind Trick Room being up. I'll Scald because Scald burns. Basically, Scald knocks him out, and it also has the potential to burn Slowking, which I do expect him to go out into. I think Slowking would be his best play. He actually chooses to stay in, so goodbye Dragalge, something that could OHKO my Sylveon under Trick Room. I understand why he made that play, though. But it's just huge that he did make that play. Rotom he actually looks like the biggest threat. I need to get up rocks. Diancie is going to come out surprisingly. I'm going to Scald you. This is 405 special attack. I mean, it can tank this most likely, but I'm going to Scald you. Yeah, look at it. It tanks. It tanked this so well. How much is Grass Knot? Not going to do enough. I can go out to Blade because his Mandibuzz is on a timer, and I can just proceed to go for Iron Head. Iron Head knocks out Diancie. It also weakens Mandibuzz just a bit, probably doing about 23, yep, 22%. Looks like he's Rocky Helmet as well, which I did not notice originally, but I can just go right at the Shuckle and just spam Stealth Rock. If he double switches out, then his Mana Buzz is going to be taking the Stealth Rock whenever it comes back in. So he does double switch out into Rotom. Good play. But with the burn and with Volt Switch, he's going to be racking up damage a bit. And next time I'll be able to pursue. So he actually goes for Overheat and unfortunately misses. I would have liked if he hit that because I would have lived it. And then I would be able to get up my Stealth Rock. But I'm going to be able to get them up anyway. So I guess it doesn't matter too much. Like, he has to Volt Switch as he goes Diancie. Surprised he went Diancie because it just gives in my the Blade right now. I guess he could go for Trick Room, but I don't care too much for that. Ooh, he has the Heal Bell. Okay, so I'm going to double out into my Sylveon, anticipating him to want to go out into his Mana Buzz right now to try and defog. It looks like he stayed in though. No, he did double. Okay, so he was just slower. But he does take the 25% with his Rotom as well, and I can just spam that Hyper Voice. His switching is Slowking. And as long as it looks like he's also very slow Scarf as well. So Overheat does a lot, but not enough to knock me out. As I'm gonna double out the Shuckle because if he Volt Switches, it won't knock me out with Burn, but I can get up Rocks one more time. It's also great to know that my Sylveon does outspeed his Rotom because we knock it out after that. After a Calm Mind boost, and I'm just gonna go for Toxic right here if he Roost because I go down. Nice. So we keep up Rocks potentially keep up Rocks, and we keep Mana Buzz on the timer. And if he does sack his Mana Buzz right here, then he loses to the Blade. So I'll definitely take this. This is Pixie Play boosted. Mana Buzz is very, very bulky. He decides to sack Rotom, so that's great. I don't gotta worry about that thing coming in and dodging Earthquakes. Assuming Slowking is gonna want to come out right now, it'd definitely be a decent switch because it could take me on. He has not gone for Trick Room, so I expected it to come out here. And I went out to my Tornadus because I can go for Grass Knot, and that's pretty much the only reason why I went out to Tornadus. If he Scald crits me, that sucks. To say the least, that sucks. Do I have to SD up here? I feel like I have to SD up here. I think I have to. I don't know if he has Fire Blast, but I have to predict the Mana Buzz and attempt to SD up. Yeah. Because now he has to Foul Play, right? Does he defog? I don't think defog is the option for him. He definitely has to Foul Play right here. I can see him Scarf knock off. So I think I'm gonna make a weird play and go Sylveon. I don't know if I actually live the Foul Play. I might be able to. Yes. So we forced 2 turns of Trick Room, which is what I needed. All right. So that's great. That's great because we can live the. We don't live the next attack, but I'm assuming that Bandit Knockoff knocks out Mana Buzz at 23%. So let me see, calc. Because otherwise I have to go for Super Power. He dies to Rocks. Does this knock it out at 23%? Crocodile, UU Choice Band, Mana Buzz. I'm assuming it does. Knockoff does 19 to 23. It's gonna be close. Yeah, I have to go for knockoff anyway, as we do miss out on the KO. But if he, all right, this is great. This is great. So we're able to get rid of his item, right? And basically, I spam knockoff to the point where he can't set up anymore. And I set up with the Blade and win the game. I keep him low. If he attacks me ever, he goes down to poison. Yeah, so I'm in a good position. I think that was the best play. Maybe earlier on I should just set up with Calm Mind Sylveon and win, especially if I got rid of Bronze. But I was just scared of Dragalge, and he honestly just revealed a Trick Room late on in the game. So he has to attack me though. That's his only play. And I think he has a Scald Burn to win the game too. Because the Roost isn't going to be giving him enough to recover. Like, look at that. He's not recovering enough. The second he switches, I even get an attack boost. I'm actually not sure why he switched, because now I 100% win the game. So that was a really odd play that he switched right there. He had to attack me with Foul Play if he wanted any chance. And I think his game plan, or what he should have done, was try to Scald Burn me. But now I have a +1 Crocodile and I win the game. Like, Mana Buzz takes the Rocks. If it's at 35, it's going to be a 5%. Or, excuse me, 10% when it comes back in. And I 100% knock out Slowking. So, really, really odd play, I think, on my opponent's part. Late game. I think he had a chance to beat me if he Scald Burnt me. But now he just threw it away. I obviously knocked off his Rocky Helmet, so I'm not going to be taking anything. This is a +2 Crocodile with a Choice Band. Everything dies. everything absolutely dies. And Slowking's going to go down. That's going to be game. So, good game to my opponent. The pursuit earlier on helped me a lot. The Rotom caught me off guard because I couldn't do too much to it. Getting up Stealth Rock early would have been nice as well. Let's look for another one, as we got one. Our opponent, unfortunately, has a defogger. A good defogger, too, in Crobat. One of the best defoggers in the game. ST the Blade might be able to beat him. Crocodile destroys his team once I am able to figure out which one is Zoroark. And Sylveon, again, he doesn't have a good resist to it outside of his what's it called, Crobat. So I'm gonna get a Stealth Rock here. He could have Taunt. I kind of hoped he didn't, but I don't think I can do anything about that. I don't have a good switching at all. What the hell? You can Will-O-Wisp here too. Yeah, I don't have a good switch into this monstrosity. What's useful? Can people stop emailing me, please? Anyway, what do you do? Tornadus, what do you do this game? Not much. I'm gonna sack Tornadus to knock off. I'm assuming he has Sucker Punch. So, you know, I made that play so I could double out into my Blastoise, because I'm assuming he has Sucker Punch right here. So, I'd rather get Blastoise in and can Scald Burn him, potentially. I couldn't go hard into Blastoise if he Shadow Claw right there, since that was a pretty risk-free Shadow Claw if he did have it. Reconnect, you've been disconnected. What happened? Why am I getting DDoS? You might want to try the replay. Doesn't exist. What happened? That's weird. I guess we just got either blown back. That man knocked off my internet. Why do we get the same guy again? And why is this my name now? Alright. What the hell just happened? So I'm gonna leave off a Shuckle one more time. That man just knocked off my internet. Like, completely knocked off my internet. Rotom is going to come out, and I am going to toxic this thing as opposed to getting up rocks. Assuming Bronzong is going to come out. He goes Slowking, so that's great. That thing is on a timer, and we can Pursuit Trap this thing as well. Do I live a Scald? We're going to attempt to get up Stealth Rock here, as we do live the Scald, and he even burns us, which is great, because down will go the Slowking. From my, actually no. Yeah, Crocodile. So no rocks this game, unfortunately, but down goes Slowking most likely. So I'm hitting with a knockoff here, not expecting him to go out directly into Mandibuzz. Does Pursuit kill? I don't think it kills, so I'm gonna go for a knockoff as he goes Diancie. That's good for me too. Getting rid of that Mon. Obviously, he's gonna be able to heal Bell, but I can go right out to Blastoise and deal with him on the Moonblast. That works too. And I think we'll just throw off a Scald, because Scald will be able to knock out Diancie at that range if he does choose to stay in. I didn't want to go for Ice Beam trying to predict him. It doesn't knock out Diancie, good lord, as he's able to get up his Trick Room. And Trick Room, Heal Bell, maybe Explosion. I don't want to take an Explosion if he has that, so I'm going to go out to this, as he does Heal Bell up, unfortunately for me. And I'm actually going to double out into my Sylveon, expecting him to want to go out into his Mandibuzz. I'm trying to keep up some momentum right here. Because if he does choose to defog, then he loses Mandibuzz, and then Crocodile sweeps him with knockoff. So he goes Rotom, which isn't the worst for me, because I can definitely get off a Hyper Voice right here. He could also trick me, which is what I'm expecting. But I'm gonna Hyper Voice him anyway, as I don't know if he changed his Choice Scarf, but he went for the Overheat, and I'll just swap it out to a Side Shock. Looks like he's Specs. He was Specs before, duh. As we do outspeed him under Trick Room, so I'm just going to go right for the Hyper Voice right here, expecting him to go out into, not that, but actually Bronzong. But at least Rotom is now low enough to the point where we knock it out with Shadow Sneak unboosted. And that's the important part, so. We can go hard in the Crocodile at this point, as he gets up a Trick Room, expecting him to Gyro Ball. Pursuit is so obvious, though. I'm just going to knock. Yeah. Get rid of this Bronzong. Yeah, Pursuit was way too obvious to want to go for it there. Though Bronzong was something that I set up on with my Blade. I think the Mandibuzz is just too threatening. This thing threatening as well. I'm going to keep Crocodile alive though, because it outspeeds his team and can click knockoff, and that's important. Actually, no. We'll sack it to the Scald. That way I can go out into my Blastoise and threaten him with the Scald. Because if I burn him before he knocks me out, basically Scald is just a good play because it burns him. But at the same time, actually, maybe Ice Beam is a better play to just weaken the Dragalge. No, Scald's a good play because if it burns him, then my Sylveon beats him by Calm Minding up. So I'd rather go for Scald right here as he does sack Rotom. So again, Sylveon is going to be winning this game by Calm Minding up, I'm pretty sure, versus his Mandibuzz. The Blade does come out. Dragalge does come out. He's going to be able to drop a Draco on me, unfortunately. But what I can do is go right out into my Blade and double out into my Sylveon, expecting to want to go out to Mandibuzz. Yeah, momentum. And now we click Hyper Voice. Because this is Pixie Play boosted. If we get rid of Mandibuzz, it goes down. Dragalge will be 2 KO'd as well by this very, very easily. And we keep up that pressure. So if he goes out into Slowking, he has to go for Trick Room. Meaning I can go for Hyper Voice to at least weaken it a bit to the point where we knock it out with our Tornadus. So he has to go for Trick Room here. If he goes for Scald, then I win with Tornadus. Yeah, and what we do here is we go Tornadus on the attack. And we're going to have to probably get a double off. But this does waste 2 turns of Trick Room, which is the good part. And I can just fire off a Hurricane if he does choose to stay in. This, again, wastes 2 turns of Trick Room. And I'm able to go right out to the Blade. And go right for the Shadow Sneak. I don't have to predict the Mandibuzz because I do have my Sylveon in the back. And we knock him out. So I just click Iron Head. It is my strongest. Well, if he roosts, Sacred Sword is the better play. Yeah, we beat him 1v1 with the Blade. With our Sylveon in the back. So because Foul Play does not knock us out. He gets a crit, which I guess is okay because we keep him at 61% as opposed to like 80%. And then Sylveon definitely knocks this thing out with Pixie Play boosted Hyper Voice. So that will be game. Nice. So we're able to get the next victory versus this guy. No idea what happened in that one game. But I'm actually going to pause it, guys, until we find another battle. We will be right back. Guys, so we have one last game. I think this will be the last one. Very, very offensive team, and we're very weak to Gyarados with this team. I kind of wish we had Tailwind on this Tornadus. His best lead is probably Absol. That's something that could take on my Shuckle. So I'm actually going to go out into Crocodile. I'm Banded, and I'm actually going to double out into my Shuckle, anticipating him to fear the Earthquake because I do knock him out. Should I don't want to. Hey, I don't want to lose from this play. Like, I don't lose much. Like, he's going to try and double. Yeah, I should definitely double out into my Shuckle. As he does go Gyarados, that's absolutely great. And I can do is just get up my Stealth Rock. If he wants to set up, I can Encore him into whatever setup move he goes for. Basically, getting up Stealth Rock right here, ensure that this thing is checked later. I don't expect him to set up right away. He does go for Sub. I mean, I have the Encore, so I can Encore him into DD. And then I also have Hyper Voice, which goes through Sub, so by Heart Switching directly into Sylveon after, I go for this. I go for Encore. I don't obviously have a phasing move on my team, but I go hard into Sylveon and I do 2-hit KO him before he loses to me. And we were able to get up Stealth Rock, which is huge for this Gyarados later on. So we go hard into our Pixie Plate boosted Sylveon. Kind of wish we were Specs. Specs also would have just destroyed him with Sticky Web up. But him setting up too early, I think, definitely might have cost him a bit. He goes out into Celebi, so what I am going to do is actually double out into Shuckle just to get up the Sticky Web as quickly as possible. As he doubles out into Nidoking, so we will be able to get up Sticky Web here too, which is great. And yeah, that's just perfect for me. So we get up Sticky Web and Stealth Rock versus a Magic Bounce user. And again, this is just perfect because his Mienshao could have been threat. Honestly, our way of winning this is SD the Blade or Crocodile. Now that he's been this weekend, SD the Blade dominates. SD the Blade absolutely dominates. We're gonna lock him into Encore. Excuse me. Actually, Toxic might be the better play. Yeah, Toxic is a better play because if he does switch out to Absol, at least he put that thing on a timer. And what I can do is just get my Custat Berry activated now and lock him into that attack. Lock him into Encore. That was just my best play around. We do get Custat Berry, which means we do go first. We lock him into Encore, and what I can do now is go right out to Tornadus, our Earth Power Resist. But yeah, basically SD the Blade can dominate him if I can weaken Absol, and I'll go right for the Sludge Wave because his only two switch-ins would be either Celebi or Sylveon. If it's Spec Sylveon, I may be able to 2-hit KO with the Stealth Rock up. Also, Gyarados is knocked out by Sludge Wave plus Grass Knot. Mienshao is knocked out by 2 Sludge Waves. Celebi is knocked out by 2 Sludge Waves, and there's no way he goes Absol. If he does, it doesn't matter because the Sticky Web are up. And Scarf Knockoff also might be another way. So Crocodile dominates him with Sticky Web up. SD the Blade dominates him with a bit of pressure. As he does go Sylveon, we'll see if he specs or not. Definitely an offensive Sylveon just based on that damage. And we can go right for the second Sludge Wave and knock him out. So again, I went for that Sludge Wave because it hit absolutely everything on his team. I'm not too worried about Absol either because our Sylveon should be able to deal with it. Like again, Sylveon's another Pokemon he just can't switch into, so he's pretty much forced to sack because he is running offense. He's forced to sack versus these types of teams. Gyarados could come out. I guess he could beat me if it flinches me enough. Nidoking having Sticky Web under it is great too because Hurricane does knock it out after the Stealth Rock damage. I'll show you the damage. I think I honestly asked to go out into either Gyarados or out into Absol and try and Mega Evolve, but I'll show you the damage on Nidoking. Yeah, gone. So Nidoking does come out. Should I Grass Knot this instead, just for damage? Okay, what's the drawback of me missing this? Yeah, I'm not gonna miss. So the better play was 100% going for the Grass Knot just to weaken it, but Blastoise does outspeed him unless he's Scarf, and we will be able to get up a kill right here. Let me just calc that Mega Blastoise knocks it out with Ice Beam because I want to go for the Ice Beam. Good boy. 405 special. Why did I even calc that? It's 405 special attack. So Hurricane wasn't the best play right there, but because I am, like, it's not like it's a tournament match or anything. My better play was definitely going for Grass Knot just for the 100% ensured damage. That way +2 to Blade does knock it out, and I set up +2 to Blade pretty easily versus Mienshao. But I wasn't too worried because obviously I do have my Blastoise, a modest max special attack that easily knocks out Nidoking right there, as his Crocodile is going to come out. And what I can do is go right out to Sylveon. Or excuse me, Celebi is going to come out now. I'm keeping Blastoise alive because it can check the Absol. And I go right out to Sylveon and click Hyper Voice because the 2-hit KO is something on his team. He does Nasty Plot. I'm not sure if he's gonna try and pass that. He can't pass it to anything though, so I'll Calm Mind up alongside him. That way I can take his attacks better, and that way I can knock him out with the Hyper Voice before he knocks me out with Giga Drain. As he goes for Psychic, doesn't get a Spadef Drop thankfully, as we can just go right for Hyper Voice. Weakening the Celebi. I'm not too worried about it, but the +1 also means that Gyarados cannot set up a Dragon Dance on me because it is gonna get blown back. Oh my god! +1 Pixie Plate boosted is strong, and this might actually even be able to win. It might be able to win right now. Who knows? Holy crap, man! Pixie Plate boost is no joke. Obviously that's a 0-0 Celebi. That has no HP, that has no special defense, no nothing. That's probably just Timid Max. Timid Max is actually running, like, it's really high in popularity right now. Gyarados is going to come out. I can just go for Hyper Voice. If he knocks me out with Waterfall, that's fine. As he does. But what I can do now is just go right out into Absol, what? Go right out to the Blade, Crocodile, excuse me, and go right for the Bandit knockoff. I don't know if his Absol actually has Justified, but it may be 2-hit KO'd. I already know for a fact that I knocked out Gyarados. I am Choice Band. We even get the Moxie boost at that. And Mienshao can come out if it wants to. It actually has to go for knockoff or U-turn. But regardless, Blastoise is always the best play because Blastoise ensures that Absol doesn't set up. As he actually goes out to Absol now. I can honestly just knock this thing off. This is +1. No, excuse me, Blastoise is the best. I already just talked about Blastoise being the best play. So Blastoise is the best play because even if he sets up, I would be able to live +1 Sucker Punch, or +2 Sucker Punch, excuse me, and I knock him out with the Aura Sphere right here. I don't know why I almost clicked knockoff. Actually, if I click knockoff and he knocked me off, I won anyway, but able to knock him out with the Aura Sphere, and Mienshao cannot beat the combination of the Blade plus any other mon. If it's Scarf Mienshao, which does outspeed my Blastoise as well as my Crocodile, even under Sticky Web, since it just puts it at neutral speed, it can't beat my Blade. So yeah, he's Scarf most likely, as he's going to go for knockoff, and Blastoise is going to be able to pick up the kill with one of the best moves in the game being Scald, and that is going to be good game. But in any case, guys, that's just an example of like how you had to play aggressive versus a Sticky Web user. I had to lead off with something that automatically forced it out. and then, or versus a magic balance user, excuse me. So I had to be very aggressive versus that, and then double switch easily, that way I can get up my hazards. Oh, thank you, friend. So I hope you guys all enjoyed. I'll be doing more laddering, that way we're doing more than the 1100s. So hopefully next time will be a little bit higher as I keep recording. But hope you guys all enjoyed. Give me your thoughts on if Salamence should be banned or not, why or why not. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. So cue the outro. Goodbye.